Hello. I just wanted to pop in very quickly and show you a little bit of what I did to my lovely pothos plant. She's hanging here. I have some photos that I've shown. It was trailing and lovely, but also not really doing so great. We're getting a lot of these yellow leaves. So I decided, since it was looking pretty scraggly, that I would cut it. So I gave this beauty a haircut. And so now this is what she looks like. I'll show you here. It's nice and short. I did leave one that I just tied up here so that I could show you how I go about cutting it. Right, so here's the long piece. So when you cut the vine here, you want to grab it, and you see here you have the nodes. These here, these little dots that you have there, they're usually along the stem, and you can go ahead and cut above them. So like for example, I'm gonna let this one grow out on its own. It's hard to see with this swinging, but I'm gonna let this one grow out on its own from up here. I'll just cut below the leaf, but above, or technically below, this node here. So I'm just gonna give it like an inch of space, and I cut it there. So now I have this nice long vine that I can use. And what I typically will do if I'm propagating is I will cut a long one like this into multiple pieces. So that way, when you replant them, once it gets rooted, you have a nice full small potted plant versus just one stem. So I'm going to show you how I do that. So this is a little bit of, if you're new to cutting, it might be a little bit stressful just because you tend to have to lose some of the leaves, and that can be scary. But just remember that you're kind of making up for it by creating a much fuller plant in the long run. It just might take a little while. So I think we lucked out because here we have one that's kind of been split already, and it has some nodes on it. If you see these little dots there, which means that it'll root really well. So I'm just gonna cut it right in between there. Oop. And now this one has a fresh new leaf too, so it's like really in good condition. So this is what I just cut. And this is where I say it gets a little bit sad because you do have to lose some of these leaves. If you submerge these leaves into water, they're just gonna fall apart. So I would just take them out, take them off, and then submerge this bit into water. You can get a rooting hormone also for plants that is helpful, but it's not always necessary. So I'm gonna put this into water, and I just wanna show you what other pieces I already cut, so you kind of get an idea of how much I cut. So we're gonna have a nice full brand new plant just from these pieces. And now this one is going to be encouraged from this cut. It's going to be encouraged to grow from the inside. So it'll actually grow much more on the vine that's already there, as opposed to growing longer right away. And so it's a nice way to redirect where the growth is coming from. So where this one is a little bit scraggly, and I'll step back a little bit so you can kind of see what I mean. Right, so it's a little bit, it's not as full in here. So what I'll do is, now that we've cut these all off and it's nice and short, it's going to encourage the plant to grow from the parts and pieces that are already in here. And then once I have some of the rooted plant stems that I have cut, I can go ahead and plant them right back inside, right into the center wherever I see kind of bald spots. Or I can take a bunch of them and put them into, once they're rooted, put them into their own soil and pot and make a whole new plant that I can gift to someone, or that I can keep and expand my plant family. So that is propagating. Let me know if you have any questions on propagating or any other questions about plants. I love talking about plants. Tell me all of your questions. I will figure it out for you. See you later.